all the sections of this pie, whether it's in the blue is that, I know you can't see the fun-filled gray, invisible ink here. SEO is the blue, PPC is your dark green, or excuse me, is your light green, and then social is now your dark green. Look at that though. 2 years ago, there was no way that any of those were even remotely to being equal. They're equaling up. Things are divvying up because now they're all feeding into each other. It used to be you could just pick one and run with it. And now it's kind of like you have to have equal parts of all going for you, or otherwise it's not going to make the same impression. And that's what we're going to get into. Okay, types of interactive marketing that you use. This is more markets reporting that they use social media as a marketing tool than they do necessarily just search. It's not that it's getting rid of search. It's just as far as a marketing tool. Now, a marketing tool can mean a lot of different things. Obviously, when we say marketing tool, this doesn't necessarily mean that they're, oh, I'm just generating leads. They literally mean about getting their brand out there, about utilizing it to find their demographic. And believe it or not, and we'll touch on this a little bit. When a company that you're utilizing, or you yourself, are equally savvy in social as you are in search, this actually means a really big deal, simply because all of the analytics that you're not capable of finding utilizing social media, income, where someone lives, I mean, what zip code they're in, how much money they make in a household, do they own a house, do they have insurance, do they have a 401k? All of those things, believe it or not, are ended up completely of their own volition on things like Facebook and Twitter. Okay, you can now borrow those types of analytics and utilize them in your search campaigns, because now you know exactly where those people are. So can't we just gear that towards that? Yes, you can. But it's a matter of making sure that you actually go in and you tap into that data and you're utilizing it towards your benefit. Okay, and I won't touch on this too much. As far as integrated digital marketing, okay, the consumer's journey, going from your organic ranking into paid, into your social, and then into search, into your SEM, which is again organic. All along the journey, you want to make sure, and again, this is kind of the same thing as I showed you with those fun-filled pie graphs. You want to make sure that you're appealing to them on all levels. The beginning of when they search for a company. Then once they found that company, are you showing up on paid listings as well? Do they feel like they've made the right choice? Because even though you came up organically, yeah, they want to go with the local guy, but do they see that you've actually put money into your advertising? Are you a company that's making money? And I know that's a shallow way of thinking, but we're a shallow race. We feel like if the company's making money, then they're probably doing well, which means somehow they're better, for us to utilize. And then also, what is their social presence? What are people saying about this place? I mean, yeah, I chose to go in there and I'm shopping and I'm thinking about using them as my realtor, or I'm thinking about using them as my gym, or I'm thinking about going and shopping there. But I mean, got some bad reviews, or they don't seem to have a very strong Facebook page going, or people are kind of talking about them on Twitter as if, they're just like the worst place in the world. Those things now matter. They matter more than ever before. So what someone else says about your business, I hate to play that he said, she said gossip game, believe it or not, that is now having a serious effect on how you make money. So no matter how much money you spend on search, or how much you do in order to banner advertise with radio ads, if somebody's left terrible reviews, or if they feel like you have no social presence, which is now reviewed as like, they don't have a Facebook page. Oh my gosh. And that attitude, believe it or not, is actually across larger demographics than you think. So I'm going to show you some statistics here. Who's actually on those social channels? Legible as usual. Perfect. This kind of just gets into more, and I'm not going to get into this too much because it just kind of reiterates everything we've been talking about, but this kind of goes into the whole DMOT situation, the shift in thinking, and how they all kind of tie into each other. So let's get into some fun-filled statistics. Here's where we get all social on you, all social media creepy. Okay. These are really easy statistics to obviously follow. 9 out of 10 internet users visited a social networking site in the entire year of 2011 in each month. I know you're shocked by that. Amazing that they're working all day. They're really not sitting on Facebook 50% of their work. 1 out of 7 minutes that's spent online is spent on Facebook. 43% of Facebook users are actually over the 35 mark. So they're over the age of 35. And actually, this statistic is slightly old. That's actually closer to 50%. I think it's like 47.5 or something like that is the last statistic we saw, which will be reported come 2013, based on 2011. Why is that important? That half of them are over the certain age of 35. And don't feel bad about saying it. Why do we want people to be over the age of 35? More money. There it is. There's the symbol I was looking for. So they have money. I mean, I'm not trying to insult anybody in their 20s. I loved my 20s. They were just so fun. But, woo! I have pictures to prove it. So, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But statistically, obviously, we're looking for people who are possibly already at a dual income. Okay? They're already maybe in a homeowner's position, and they make more money just statistically, categorically with you. So this is now why Facebook has become more popular with other age groups. Now, the top one here is your 18 to 29. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's actually more like an 18 to 25. Okay, and obviously they were early adopters. They jumped right off that diving board. They're like, Facebook! You know, so, and they immediately posted all their kegger photos and all that happy jazz there for a while. The next group down this line right here, you can't read it, it's 30 to 49, okay? And again, they kind of crept into it. I'm not going to lie to you, even though this is what I do for a living. Initially, I did not want a Facebook account. I literally looked at half my friends. I'm like, I just got rid of MySpace. I don't even know half the people who were on there. They're like, hey, friend, who are you? I'm like, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. The reason why this shift in thinking, why these age groups, it's 30 to 49, 50 to 64, and then 65 plus is this bottom one. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's on Facebook. There's no hiding, grandma's on there too. And the reason why we literally, as our age groups, did not really adopt it was because of privacy. It was because it was, it's a social site. Right around 2007, we started to realize that this isn't just a social site, it's a networking site, which is why it's called that. It is a networking site. It became more consumer functional than it ever did about gossip. I mean, yeah, you can go on there and see all sorts of fun stuff, but it literally became more geared towards how are you networking, who are you talking to, hey, did you know about this product? And so all of a sudden businesses took the shift. And you'll notice too, I was going to say, obviously with the 65 and over crowd, this is how they're communicating with their grandchildren. This is how they're communicating with their sons and daughters. So they literally jumped on just because they were like, this is the only way I get to hear about how college is, so fine, I will jump on Facebook if you absolutely force me to. But that doesn't change the fact that they are marketed to. All of our age groups are. The reason why you kind of see this one taper off a little as of recently is simply because of that fact. And it's more on the 18 to 25 crowd again, it's not the 25 and over so much. A lot of people don't want grandma to see them at a kegger, especially since some of them aren't legal drinking age. So they kind of dropped off, and that's fine. We're fine with that, because that's not who our target group audience is anyway. Besides, we can always find those kids on Twitter anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll get to it. Okay, 64% of Facebook users have liked a company on Facebook. What does that mean? Does that mean anything to you? There's another little homework assignment I'm going to give you. If you Google, or Bing, whatever, if you Google value of a like, there are a number of different e-commerce sites and e-marketer sites that will show you exactly, it will literally break down as close to dollars as possible. Again, we're ballparking, okay? What that means, depending on what type of business category that you fall into, what a like means to you in dollars, or what it means to you as far as branding. Okay, so that's a good read. I actually think it's really helpful. 75% of business consumers companies that they said acquire customers through Facebook. That means they had to like you, okay? If they don't like you, they can't acquire you as a customer. Okay, so liking, I know it seems like it's a simple, silly thing. It actually means a lot more than that, because the minute that someone likes you, and again, if I'm reiterating for people who already know this, I apologize. For people who don't know how Facebook works completely, let me just let you know. That person who liked you, anything that you know, and this has a lot to do with timeline also, anything that you put out there, that person has become a walking billboard for you because they liked you. So now everyone that they know now knows that they like you. And they know that you know that it's a good thing. So with everybody in the know like that, that is what is making all of this crawl as fast as it is. It's like spider webbed. I mean, you immediately get 3 or 4 people to like you. Well, that's a few thousand people. Okay, targeted landing pages and clear calls to action are the new visit my home page. So in other words, a targeted landing page, as I said, no. Do I think it should be utilized all the time, every time? No, absolutely not. That is what your website is for. But a landing page is created to be not only fast, but to be mobilely optimized as well for anybody who's running a mobile campaign, because let's face it, your website isn't always going to be mobile ready, and that's a project in itself, mobilizing your website. But it also is meant to mirror your website. It doesn't have to be like something completely else that you have to design. This can be done a little bit faster. Bless you. It can be sort of like a microsite. It literally is new. The calls to action that go on your landing page literally are just that. They're just to get whatever it is you're targeting in that specific campaign. And that's what's also fantastic about landing pages, is that you can diversify who you're targeting at what time and why. Simply because if everybody's just dumping out on your website, I mean, that's good. But is it necessarily speaking to Jane the same way it's speaking to Jill? Well, we don't know, because I wasn't watching them. Whereas I know that Jill's 22, and I know that she, goes to college in a certain area, and I know how much money she makes basically thanks to Facebook. And I know, she's got daddy's money and she owns a nice car, so I'm going to go ahead and gear my service ad to her. But I know that, I don't remember who that was, if it was Jane or Jill, but Jill over here, I know that she's a mother of 3. She doesn't have a trust fund. She's a hardworking woman like the rest of us. And she is looking to buy a new car. you can dump that on a website page, but is that necessarily the same call to action that you want them to follow? You want her to know that it's only $30 for her to get her awesome car oil change, but you want her to know that there's these amazing rebates on a safe family car. Do you want them necessarily landing on the same page? Maybe not. And those are things you have to decide based on your ad group, okay? Okay. Social media activities of U.S. users watching TV. I think we can all admit that TV is no longer as entertaining as it used to be. And I know this because I watch around and I have plenty of friends in all age groups. And I have never once, and I mean in the last year, seen someone watch an entire show and just watch the show. They're literally on their phone and they're on their tablet and they're like, oh my God, did you see? And they're flipping back and forth from some other channel and they're talking to someone and they're, you know, like trying to scroll with their foot on the other thing that they've got going on. They've got a tablet in front of them, a phone in front of them. You don't know how to sit still anymore. And that's fine because apparently neither do I. So while doing that, this is literally what those people are doing. We can literally look and see, are they looking up information based on the commercial they just saw? And this is also paired with newspapers as well. I mean, the statistics are obviously slightly different, but I've literally watched, and Jody and I actually made a comment about this. We were at Starbucks in Cincinnati. I looked over, the kid had to be maybe 25. My age gauge is way off these days, though, now that I'm over 30. I'm like, I don't know, 25, 12, I don't know. So, it's like Zac Efron's age. We'll go there. What's he, about 18? Something like that? So, we literally, he's reading a USA Today. Good for him reading USA Today. But he was reading USA Today. And he literally looked at something, saw something in political information, and he picked up his tablet right next to him and literally is looking up the article online to see what else it continues on. This is what's going on. People are no longer satisfied. They aren't sated anymore by just one form of media. They need them all to be streaming in my face, tell me more, tell me more. So literally tweeting, updating, visiting a network, visiting a homepage, this is what's going on. So you need to realize that while that person is sitting there, even just watching basic television, this is prime optimized marketing time. And what they're looking up and all things like that we're going to get into here. We're also trying to move away from this. With your branding, in yesteryear, it was always the way of like, buy this now, you know, it was the inflatable, wacky, waving arm balloon guy, you know, on the side of the road all the time, or the guy who talks so fast in the electronics commercial because you need to buy all the crazy crap he has going on down there. Or it's perfect for you, or just do it because I said so. Those ads are kind of, they're diminishing a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's kind of changing. Now, it's that, hey, by the way, you know this person that I know, and I actually did his will for him. If you ever need anything, hey, call me. Marketing has now become the way you would hand a business card off in the elevator. So even though it seems like we're forging into the future and we're going all crazy digital, by doing that digitally, we can actually take it back and dial it back to the handshake that it should have been. Yes, granted, you're doing it digitally and you're doing it 9 times faster, which is also lovely. But it's literally the way that you would meet somebody in an elevator. They used to call it an elevator pitch, is what I heard from a car salesman that I knew a long time ago, your elevator pitch. I'm like, what? How you would talk to somebody in the elevator, if you overheard their conversation and they said they were in the market for something, or they were on their phone and they said, yeah, I need a lawyer, so-and-so just found out that, it turns out our property lines are wrong and I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. If you were a lawyer or you worked for a law firm and you were standing in that elevator, you are darn tootin'. I would turn around and hand that guy a business card and say, you know what? I don't know if we can necessarily do anything for you directly, but give us a call. Let's see if maybe we can. It's free consult. Come in and just see us. If you could do that 100 times a day with people who are literally having the elevator conversation about whatever it is that you do, wouldn't you do that? Well, yeah, of course you would. And that's what social media is. It's optimizing those opportunities 1,000,000 times faster. Okay, social media platforms. Now, I understand that there's a million out there. Believe me, I get it. Okay, these are the 4 that we're saying as of right now you should definitely pay attention to. We are definitely working on something with Pinterest. It's just they've kind of been the weird new up-and-comer. They've had some issues with publishing laws and things like that they were in trouble with initially, but they're doing okay now. We're going to get into just these 4, and I will delve into each one of them a little bit and give you an example of why and how it can be utilized. Facebook. Has anybody heard of this? No? It's okay if you haven't, it's fine. We're going to get into it. Okay, what is Facebook? Okay, literally, and this is like the wiki definition of what Facebook is, a network that helps users connect and share with people, businesses, and brands that they are most interested in. Oh, Sally, if that was only the definition of what Facebook is. Facebook is now literally a way to optimize who your demographic is in such a geo-targeted way that it's a little on the creepy side, not gonna lie. It's a little stalkery. There's moments where I'm like, oh, wow. Like they know what your blood type is and they know where you live and they're coming for you. It's like, okay. So, the one thing that some of the statistics that are important, I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable.